Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Welcome back, and I am so glad that you are here. Okay, so I just caught when the live started. Okay, interesting. Learning. This is a learning curve. I am so grateful for your patience and for your support, and I'm so excited to dive into card number 4 today. So let's take a peek at what we've got. I don't know. I think that is not quite right either. I ran into major technology issues with the last video. Actually, it was this video. So basically, I made card number 4. Here, you should watch me now. Still getting the hang of this. I made card number 4 and walked through all the steps. It froze. But I had my controls over here, and I was probably talking and making for about 3-4 minutes before I noticed that it had froze. So then I recalled everything that happened. I kind of walked you through what went on. Then my mic died, except for I didn't notice or know that my mic died. So I finished the rest of the class, probably 15 minutes of just seeing what was going on, not hearing anything. Thought, okay, I could maybe do a voiceover. But some of my camera controls were off. So you were looking at me when I thought you were looking at my, it was a product of being too late and too tired. Lo and behold, I scrapped the whole thing. I mean, I had the whole card made and I just didn't know what to do. So major shout out to Chris Duderenke, who borrowed me her advent box so that I could use these supplies to make this card, and fingers crossed, throwing up a prayer to God that we make it through this card without any issues so that this content gets to you so that you can make this card with me. So that's the long and short of it, and why the URL, if you followed the tutorial or whatever, brought you to somewhere that wasn't here, and now we're here. So here is the card number 4, card that I will be making and doing in my sleep, because now this is probably the 8th time that I've done it. Totally fine, but wow. Okay, so here it is. Wishing you love and happiness that lasts a lifetime. From the advent calendar, you will get, from door number 2, this piece of DSP, and we will cut that down, to 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, got some extra scraps here. The other things that you will need from the advent box for this card, this little laser cut element that we will color and put on the inside, and then this Memories and More card, which has this back, but we decided to use this side. Oh, I forgot about the ephemera square. So let's go on a scavenger hunt. I think that was door number 2. No, 12 is the laser cuts. Okay, was it 8? Frazzled. Nope, 8 is the twine. 4. Okay, here's the funny thing. So I had everything labeled. Yay! It was door number 4. Oh, got a little bit of, okay. She was stuck in there. Okay, in door number 4, we are going to pull out this square as well. So this piece, the Memories and More piece, that might be the only 2. Those are the only pieces that there are one and only one of, and that was why I couldn't redo this card. I didn't have a spare or an extra advent calendar box. So thank you again to Chris Duderenke. This is the whole reason why we're here today. Okay, so this ephemera square, and then the kit participants receive this from me to help finish making the card. So we've got a card base in Secret C, we have an inside mat, a Memories and More mat, and then a strip of Secret C as well. So these are the supplies that we need to make this card. So we will start by burnishing the card base. Then we will grab that piece of DSP that we cut down and go ahead and adhere that to the front. I don't think this piece is necessarily directional, so it can just get glued on however you merry wish. Now I'm paranoid, so I'm going to go back to my other screen so that I can see that my audio is streaming. Okay, so stick that down. Then we can stick down the Memories and More card. This one I also determined is not necessarily directional, but there's more sprigs going up this way, so with the scalloped, more floral section facing up, flipped upside down. But basically that's the way I'm putting it, even though I don't know that there is necessarily a right or wrong answer. Then I am going to take the strip. This is a brand new glue, so it's not empty. This should be called the saga of the advent calendar, because I think it was in the last video that I got the new glue because the prior glue was not cutting it anymore. All right, so once that is glued down, I'm going to transition into stamping. Let this dry. Okay, so then we're going to stamp inside just congrats. Yeah, I think it's congrats. That is coming from the beautiful motifs. Just kidding, it's celebrate. And then in the square, we are going to do wishing you love and happiness that lasts a lifetime. We are stamping in Secret C today. All right, when I'm stamping on my glass mat or anything with a grid, especially on something that's diagonal, it's nice to be able to line up the north, south, west, and east points to make sure that we are at a correct angle. Go ahead, stamp that down. Bring in our chamois. And I've been trying to, not always successfully, but trying to get the excess ink off before I put it on my chamois, because then it's just less often that we need to clean our chamois. Okay, then we will put this back, grab the Celebrate, stamp Celebrate on the inside, and then decorate the flower. Okay, again, it's always a good practice to line this up so that it's level. You can control the inside of your card. That's not level. You got a second shot. Except for there's something on this. You can control your card. So I would say this is probably a wedding card. If you want less room to write, just move your sentiment down farther. that's definitely straighter. I wouldn't go so far as to say it's straight, but it's straighter. Okay. We will get this cleaned up. So for the laser cut, we are coloring that in with sponge daubers. You can use anything that you have if you don't have sponge daubers, although they are a very handy tool. Or maybe you just don't like using sponge daubers. That could be the case as well. So I'm going to use Old Olive and Misty Moonlight. See here where I did it from the original card. Well, so close. Okay, so we are going to bring this guy in. I had cautioned in the first filming that Misty Moonlight especially, but also the Old Olive, they're pretty dark. So I was using a sponge dauber, tapping once or twice, and then tapping it off quite a bit before rubbing the color onto the flower. Another thing that I was doing that was helping, because these are very delicate, I was using my fingernail to hold at the base of the flower where the flower head meets the stem, kind of putting a little pressure, hopefully not allowing it to rip off, and also giving it a stopping point for where I want the blue to stop. Okay, that is really funny. The one blue flower looks a lot darker than the other. Like, you see how this has more of a brightish blue tone? So I think that one has more of the original ink, but either way, they're just blue flowers. Then I'm going to transition to the Old Olive stamp pad. Open that up, grab my green dauber, do the same thing. Stamp most of the ink off before bringing it over onto the leaves. Now that one leaf kind of gets into the gray area between, so I kind of am just tucking the second or the left flower off to the side so I can get at this leaf without getting green on that flower head. So that's what I've got going on for you for the sponge daubers for the inside of the card. Always a good idea to put the stamp pad away before you make an inky mess. Then we will flip this over, just a few very small dabs of glue. So I'm actually in my basement. I set up a whole studio. I do need to do a walkthrough of my studio space. So I'll finish this series and then clean everything up, and then I'll do a video walkthrough of my studio space. But I created this space downstairs, and I think why I'm struggling with the glue is because I'm downstairs, and it's not cold down here, but it's colder. So I might need to consider that with my love of liquid glue. Okay, so we're nearing the end of this card. We are going to flip our Memories and More mat over, and we are going to layer it up with dimensionals. Okay, then we are also going to put dimensionals behind the ephemera. Behind the ephemera. Yes, so since yesterday, or since the last day, I don't even remember when I was doing the last videos, I got a garbage can. Except for it's not a garbage can. I did a little bit of time searching on Amazon for desktop garbage, and there were fine options, but you know, $8, $10, $12, $15, which is fine. we're not ready to stick that down. I forgot the ribbon. So I just used a cardboard box that was in my recycling bin, and I stuck it to the side of my table, and now I have a handy place to put the garbage. Sometimes the best solutions don't need to cost anything and are, well, literally sitting in your garbage. Okay, wow. Good thing we caught that. Okay, so flipping our memories and more card over. Pro tip, do it before you put the dimensionals on. Oops. Okay, so we are going to bring in our Misty Moonlight after we peel the waxy backer off of our tear and tape. Then we're going to stick this on. Run it right about through the middle. Do a little U-turn. Send it right back. Leaving just a small little gap between the two. Bring in our ribbon scissors, trim that off, stick it down, complete the tear and tape sandwich, and pretend that we never forgot. That's an important part of an important step. Pretend that you didn't make a mistake. I was thinking this was a little too easy. Okay, now we can flip this over. Now we can center it on our card and stick it down. Then we will flip this guy, put dimensionals on the back of him. Make sure to get it nice and centered, or as centered as you can. I try to remember where I put the dimensionals so that I can put some pressure on each of the dimensional points. Doesn't always work that way, but that is usually what I try to do. I did place an order for my Take Your Pick tool. I have one. I totally do. Just don't know where it is. So time for a new one. All right, so then I'm going to grab 3 of these gold glitter domes or gems or whatever you want to call them. And we're going to put one up here. Do a bigger one. And then 2 down here. Ooh. As mentioned previously, these gems, which are absolutely beautiful, have a domed side and a flat side. It is pretty hard to tell the difference, but when you are using them, you're going to want to try to make sure that you have the flat side laying onto the card to make it better for sticking purposes. Then, Stella, what I had done and seem to be doing for this series of cards is just Stella-ing on the petals. That's a leaf. Obviously, mistakes can happen and it doesn't matter, but that's what I'm relatively shooting for, is basically adding brush strokes, which looks very pretty because these images are painterly. It looks like you can see the artist's brush strokes that they used to paint out these flowers. So accentuating the brush strokes with our Stella pen. All right. I think that takes care of the outside. Then we will go ahead and open the card and glue on the inside. And I think we have successfully completed card number 4. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, let's spread that out a little bit. So we'll do a little zooming zoom. I think. Still learning. Okay, so here is card number 4. Always trying to catch the glitter or the stella or the iridescence, whatever is special in the light, and it's always oh so hard. Open it up and celebrate. So, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you watching along. If you haven't yet, please like, comment, share, subscribe, all of the above. I love watching my community grow, and I love inspiring all of you guys to make these and other beautiful creations. So until next time, sending sunshine, rainbows, and bright skies your way.